The flea market buzzed with activity. Stalls overflowed with trinkets and treasures. Daniel, a young man with a thirst for the unusual, browsed the crowded aisles. His eyes landed on a tarnished silver ring nestled in a velvet box. It seemed to whisper his name. The old woman selling it smiled, her eyes twinkling. "A lucky ring," she rasped, "for a lucky soul." Daniel hesitated, drawn to its strange allure. He bought the ring, unaware of the life-altering journey he was about to embark on. He slipped the ring on his finger. A jolt of energy surged through him. It felt warm, alive. He dismissed it as his imagination. Little did he know the ring held the power to manipulate time itself, to rewind or fast-forward the age of anyone he wished. Later that day, Daniel examined his unusual purchase. He idly wished his elderly dog, Buster, could be young and playful again. He twisted the ring. To his astonishment, Buster, lying across the room, began to shrink and yelp. Daniel watched in disbelief as his beloved pet transformed into a clumsy puppy. The reality of the ring's power hit him. He had stumbled upon something extraordinary, something magical. Fear warred with excitement. He experimented cautiously, turning back the clock on wilting flowers and aging a loaf of bread into rock-hard staleness. With each successful attempt, his confidence and his sense of daring grew. Mother's Day approached, and Daniel was struck by an unconventional idea. He loved his mother and older sisters dearly. He wanted to give them a unique gift, an experience they would never forget. He imagined his mother, free from wrinkles, radiating youth. He pictured his sisters, their laughter echoing their youthful energy. The ring, he realized, was the key. He could give them the gift of time, a chance to relive their youth. He envisioned their surprise, their joy at being young and carefree again. His heart pounded with anticipation and a hint of mischief. When Mother's Day came, he showed his mother and sisters the power of his ring. His mother was de-aged into a young woman, and his aging younger sisters into teens once more. Daniel decided to make the occasion even more memorable. While the women in his life were busy in the back bedroom changing clothes, he would experience Mother's Day through the innocent eyes of a child. He twisted the ring, picturing himself as a carefree 4-year-old, and felt his body shrinking, his clothes loosening around him. He looked down at his small hands, his bare legs sticking out from his oversized jeans. He giggled, the sound unfamiliar yet filled with the simple joy of being young. It felt liberating, exciting, and a little bit scary all at the same time. He was ready for the most unforgettable Mother's Day surprise ever. Little did he know it would be far more unforgettable than he could have ever imagined. Section 5, Out of Reach. His mother's gasp filled the room as he revealed himself. Her eyes widened, first in disbelief, then alarm, as she saw her son standing before her, a 4-year-old child in oversized clothes. His sisters shrieked, a mixture of horror and amusement in their voices. After the initial shock subsided, his mother, ever practical, took charge. She examined the ring, her brow furrowed. She knew the power it held, the potential for chaos and confusion. With a determined glint in her eyes, she took the ring from Daniel's grasp. She placed it on the highest shelf in the house, well out of his reach. A wave of relief washed over her. For now, the ring was secure and her family was safe from its unpredictable magic. Little did Daniel know his mother's protective act was only the beginning of his transformation. He was about to learn that being young again wasn't all fun and games. His mother and sisters were quick to adapt to his new reality. They treated him just as they would any other 4-year-old. He was bathed, dressed in childish pajamas, and read bedtime stories. He was fed, his food cut into tiny pieces. They held his hand as he walked, worried about him tripping over his own feet. It was novel at first, amusing even. But as the days went by, a seed of unease began to grow in his heart. He was a man trapped in a child's body, and the women in his life seemed to be enjoying his predicament a little too much. His girlfriend Sarah arrived, her face a mixture of bewilderment and amusement. Everyone took turns explaining everything to her. She picked him up, swinging him around. He giggled, his face flushed. "You're so cute," she exclaimed, pinching his cheek. "But you know," she whispered, a mischievous glint in her eye, "I preferred you with a little more equipment down there." He blushed crimson, mortified. She laughed, kissing his forehead. "Don't worry, little man. It's not like you need it right now." Her words stung, a stark reminder of his situation. He missed their intimacy, the way they held each other. Now, he was just a child in her eyes, his proud manhood, a distant memory. As Mother's Day weekend drew to a close, Daniel hoped for a return to normalcy. He eagerly anticipated his mother returning the ring. To his dismay, a family meeting was called. His mother and sisters sat in a circle, their faces unreadable. His mother spoke first, her voice gentle yet firm. "We've talked it over," she said, "and we've decided we like you better this way." Daniel's jaw dropped. "What?" he squeaked, his voice small and childlike. His sisters smiled, their eyes twinkling with amusement. "You're so much cuter as a little guy, big brother," his now eldest sister said, patting his head. "Less trouble too," added the other with a wink. The truth hit Daniel like a ton of bricks. He wasn't getting his old life back. He was trapped. That night, as he lay tucked into his childhood bed, his mother came to him. She held the silver ring in her hand. He reached for it, hope flickering in his eyes. She smiled, a sad, wistful smile. "Don't worry, darling," she whispered. "You'll be our baby boy for a long time." And with a twist of the ring, toddler him was gone. In his place lay a gurgling infant, his eyes wide and innocent. His mother scooped him up, cradling him close. "We'll take turns breastfeeding you," she murmured, her voice filled with a terrifying tenderness. "And we'll let you grow up slowly, but only if you're a good boy." The ring glinted in the moonlight. It was a symbol of her power and motherly love. The next day, the girlfriend visited, curious about the changes she had noticed in her boyfriend's life. She saw the ring glinting on the mother's finger and heard the laughter of a baby. Her heart ached for the same love and care, the same innocent joy. She approached his mother, her eyes filled with longing. "Can I try it?" she asked, pointing to the ring. The mother hesitated, but then, with a knowing smile, she handed it over. The girlfriend slipped the ring onto her finger. In an instant, she felt a warm, tingling sensation spread through her body. She closed her eyes, and when she opened them again, she was a toddler, her clothes now far too big for her tiny frame. Her boyfriend reached out to her, giggling. She waddled walk over to him, leaving her adult clothing behind. They embraced, their innocent laughter filling the room. The mother looked on, her heart swelling with a twisted kind of pride. "Welcome to your new lives, my children," she whispered, her voice soft and filled with a deep love. "You will both grow up slowly, surrounded by care and love. But remember, you must be good." And so they played together, two children in a world where time moved differently, cared for by mothers whose love was as eternal as the ring that bound them. The ring, still glinting on the mother's finger, was a symbol of her power, her love, and the strange eternal youth she had granted them both. He really was a good son, bringing her such power and joy into their lives once more.